18-year-old Tyler Flack of Lido Beach is facing second-degree murder charges this morning. Prosecutors say Flack stabbed and killed 16-year-old Cassine Morris. Officials are now holding a press conference to discuss the case. Let's take a listen in.
1948, 2 minutes later, police officers came upon a 16-year-old Cassine Morris, who had been stabbed in the chest area, and a second victim, a 17-year-old male who had suffered a broken arm and swelling to his head. Both of those individuals were taken to a local area hospital for treatment. At 11:55 hours, Cassine Morris succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced deceased over at South Nassau Hospital. 11:45 p.m. This commenced the homicide investigation that started. I'd like to commend both the members of our homicide unit and the district attorney's office that came to a very swift conclusion. We announced today the arrest of our defendant, Mr. Flack. He's being charged with murder second degree, which is punishable at 25 years to life. We're also looking at the possibility of other subjects being charged. You heard the lieutenant speak at earlier press conferences. The time to come forward is now, not till after the fact that you've been arrested. We had a community that is outraged by the death of this young man. We're outraged by the death of this young man. We had people stand by and take video. There's video evidence that is out there. We'd like you, if you have it, to come forward and give it to us. If you know of anybody that was at the scene, come forward and give it to us. And we're going to continue to finish that investigation moving forward. Defendant Flack's priors, September 8th, 2019, for criminal possession of a controlled substance. And on May 23rd, 2019, he was arrested for assault third, which was part of a road rage incident. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to the Nassau County District Attorney's Office. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Police Commissioner. I can't say much because this defendant has not been arraigned. We expect the defendant to be arraigned later this afternoon under charges of murder in the second degree, for which he would face 25 to life if convicted. We will be asking a judge to remand him into custody. Again, this is a horrific tragedy for Cassim's family, for the Oceanside community. Again, we implore people who have videos to please come forward. We implore people who have information about this case to please come forward. We can't sit idly by as 16-year-olds expire and bleed out on our streets here in Nassau County. So please, give us the information so that we can continue this investigation and ensure that justice is done for Cassine and his family. Thank you.
Good morning. I think you've all heard the story, and between the Commissioner and the ADA. Yesterday, in cooperation with his attorney, Tyler Flack surrendered here at Mineola in the early afternoon. He was charged with murder second degree. He'll be arraigned later on today. We are still investigating the other persons that were with him there. We've identified upward of 7 and maybe even one more. Anybody who was in that shopping center, anybody with information, we still implore to contact us. As they said, videos are helpful. Eyewitness accounts are helpful. Since our press conference, the community has stepped up. They are contacting us. We've gotten numerous Crime Stopper tips. We've had calls to our office, calls to the schools. The community is coming together, and we applaud that. We ask you to continue that effort as we progress in this investigation and bring more people to justice. Anybody have a question?
You say 7 what exactly?
7 peers, 7 people that were with Tyler when they came to have this fight and commit these assaults or stab Cassine.
Have they been contacted? Have you spoken with them?
We haven't contacted anybody on that particular angle. When we will contact them, we'll be arresting them.
How many videos are you aware of were shot by teens? And did the commissioner just say that nobody called 911 until after the teen was stabbed?
No. First call came in as a fight that is just breaking up and starting to disperse in the parking lot. Our police officer was there in around 2 minutes. When he arrived, he saw an individual that was stabbed. He then asked for an ambulance, and then when the ambulance got there, within 2 minutes, they took him off to the hospital.
I guess we're trying to get a sense of how many people were shooting videos and not doing anything, not calling 911.
Well, we had 7 911 calls that people actually gave their name. There are at least one video that you actually saw that was distributed through social media. We know there's others, okay? We're in the process of obtaining those, as well as the businesses, as well as other businesses where we know they fled to. So that there is information out there that we continue to get. Tyler was is a threat. We wanted to get him sooner than later. Once we had probable cause, we've arrested him.
Was the murder weapon ever found?
We have things that we're analyzing right now. It's unknown right now.
Obviously, there's the story about the ex-boyfriend and that there was a planned fight that was going to go on in this parking lot. What was Tyler's skin in the game? What was his relationship to the casino?
So Tyler is an associate of the ex-boyfriend of this particular girl in question. He's in his particular crew or group that he hangs out with, and he came there as a partner with his friend to have this fight. He took it to the next level.
So you believe he actually carried out the stabbing?
Tyler?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Are there any others who you think may have participated in the stabbing?
I only think Tyler was the one who actually stabbed him. What knowledge the other ones had or what participation was still investigating.
You said that he turned himself in with his attorney.
Yes.
So were you all able to interview him at all?
No, his attorney asked us not to speak on it.
Do you know if he's still in high school?
He's not in high school.
Did he graduate high school?
Yes, he's a college, he's a first-year admission in one of the local colleges,
First year, what college?
Nassau.
So you said that if somebody comes forward now, you're looking for people to come forward. Does that mean that they could potentially face lesser charges by coming forward now and cooperating?
I mean, again, we're going to have to analyze the information that they have. I was asking for video of bystanders. So that is the information that we're looking for. And again, depending on the type of information, we would assess it and make those determinations once we see what the evidence is. Again, a lot of people did stay, a lot of people did give their names, a lot of people did give information, but there are many more out there who didn't, and we need to get that information.
There's said in the Long Beach community that there's a fear factor that I guess, I don't know whether the suspect or his friends or this group has imposed on people from coming forward, and that maybe that is the reason why a lot of people come forward. Can you say to the public and to the parents who may be listening right now, what this would do for their kid if they're holding back because of a fear of someone who's already been arrested?
I mean, look, we can only proceed on these investigations when we have information. This is a 16-year-old. He's a child. There's nothing more horrific in our business than the murder of a child. So if people have information about that, they need to come forward. They need to respect the work that we're doing in law enforcement, and we need the information so that we can keep our communities safe. And we will not tolerate anyone threatening people with information not to come forward. They don't want to be on that side of that equation either.
Does the second-degree murder charge indicate you thought he came there with the intent to kill him?
I'm not sure, and I'm not going to talk about the exact charges until after arraignment, but we can revisit this conversation.
I just want to clarify the videos. I know that there's one video that's been circulating on Snapchat. How many others are there that you've seen? And you said absolutely Tyler was the person that stabbed Cassine. Did you see that on a video?
I wouldn't answer that if I did. The information we have, the evidence we have is that he is in fact the one. There is at least one other video. There are other videos out there.
The Crime Stopper level, obviously this helps tremendously in all of this. And how many calls have there been, if any, on the line?
We've had 13 Crime Stoppers so far. That's not counting the other calls that come directly to us that doesn't go through Crime Stoppers, as well as people have come forward to the school system or somebody in the community that's contacted us. I mean, there's many ways to get in touch with us, not just Crime Stoppers, but if you want to remain anonymous, obviously 1-800-244-TIPS. Otherwise, you can call us direct, 573-7788.
Can we talk about his priors as well?
We believe the girlfriend was aware that both of them would be there that time.
And the girlfriend was the victim's girlfriend, this one?
He was a friend of hers. I wouldn't say he was her boyfriend. Her ex-boyfriend maybe had that perception of him being jealous of hanging around with his ex-girlfriend. They apparently broke up 2 weeks prior.
Tyler is only the friend of the...
We're not taking any more questions, but I want to end it with a statement that everybody is clear about this. The Oceanside School District, the Long Beach School District, the Freeport School District, all had concerns. Security is in place at all of these schools. Our cops are out at all these schools. Nobody's going to threaten anybody in our county without this district attorney stepping in and prosecuting them. You can take that to the bank. But I want them to be sure of this, is that the school and the kids that had no involvement in any of these actions. Last night there was a town school board meeting in Oceanside. The attack was going towards the school should have done more. School had no involvement in this case. It was off campus, it was down the road, it was at a pizza place in the parking lot, and it had to do with as the lieutenant told you, the details. All of your schools are safe. All of those resources are in place, and our cops will continue to be in place to make sure that your kids go to school and get their education and not worry about it. That's all we're going to do today. Thank you.
Thank you. It's over.
And we've just been watching the press conference happening on Long Island following the deadly stabbing of high school senior Cassine Morris. 18-year-old Tyler Flack of Lido Beach was arrested and charged with second-degree murder Wednesday. Disturbing cell phone video showed the violent fight that happened in the parking lot of an Oceanside strip mall. We'll be right back.